You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily represent those of the network, its advertisers, owners, or sponsors.
What is up? This is episode 258 of the IT and the D Show, broadcasting live at our brand new
Is it episode 258
studio.
or is it episode 1?
It's 258 at our brand new studio at the Detroit Shipping Company.
Wait, hold on. Detroit? IT and the D is in Detroit
We're in
right now?
Detroit, in Podcast Detroit in
we
Detroit.
are in the Detroit. We are.
So guests this week include all that is the Detroit Shipping Company. Grand opening is tonight. So we got the owners, John and Julie, in the house.
Wait, I thought that packed house out there was just for us.
No, this is not for us. They saw our Facebook invite. And then also in the next segment, we're going to have Petros and Chef Max and all of the restaurants that are here. This is an awesome place.
Some good food downstairs, man.
We got some great stories. And Dave, you may fire when ready.
Listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
I'm Wyatt, that's Gary, you're Bob, and you're Dave. This is the IT and the D Show.
This is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the sun? Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Everything but that! No!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Hey, Dad, hello, this is Pinky, the genius, the real genius behind Pinky and the Brain. And when we take over the world, the only show that people will be able to listen to is IT and the D with Bob, Dave, and Yuri. No!
Hi, this is Christy Swanson, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. And Bob and Dave touch my hoo-hoos.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly.
Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
This is Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley, and the only two guys I hate more than Dinesh are Bob and Dave. Suck it, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT and the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the detox.
Hi, this is David Kay, the voice of Professor Xavier from X-Men Evolution. Storm! Come here, Storm. Sit on my lap, Storm.
You're listening to IT and the D.
Are we at a break yet?
Hey, everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. You're listening to IT and the D. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT and the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
What is a nerd?
Hi, this is Ogre. You listen to a bunch of nerds on the IT and the D? Nerds.
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Hi, it's Julia Montgomery from Revenge of the Nerds. I listen to IT and D. And I'm in love with a nerd.
Hey, Detroit, this is Anthony Michael Hall. You're listening to my buddies Bob and Dave on IT in the D.
Hey, what up? This is Jay Muse, and you're listening to the IT and D Show. Snooch to the nooch. Listen, Muse, Snoogans.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump. The IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
I'm totally into Dave, but not so much Bob.
This is Robert Hayes, the Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
Hello, smart people. Yakko Warner here, and the only show we listen to in the water tower is Bob, Dave, and Nuri at IT and the D. Good luck, everybody!
Hi, this is Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science. Bob and Dave, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
listening. This is episode 258 or episode 1, however you're counting, of the IT and the D Show. We are here for the grand opening in our brand new studio in Podcast Detroit. In
Detroit,
in the Cass Corridor in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. It's Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG, Randy do Twitter's Walker. Find us online, itinthed.com, because right now we are IT in the D, and
we are IT. We are information technology in the Detroit.
Actually, in the Detroit,
we're
much
closer to you.
We're back.
Much
Shots.
closer.
Cheers,
bitches.
Cheers. So, like I said, we are in our brand new studio at Podcast Detroit. Just opened. We're in the Detroit Shipping Company. If you have not heard of this or seen it, it's a sight to behold. It's
shame on you.
It's about
Mother of God. It's amazing.
It's basically 20 shipping containers all welded together. It's a food court. There's 2 bars. There's pop-up beer gardens.
It's a floor wax. It's
there's
a dessert
retail.
topping.
There's meeting rooms. It's seriously, this is like the Ginsu knife of bars and restaurants.
Swiss Army knife.
Whichever works.
Whichever knife works.
Exactly.
For you.
I don't care.
No, it is. I mean, it's seriously. This is a beautiful space. I mean, they did a great job pulling this together. I mean, the courtyard is amazing with the stage and the outdoor seating. You've got the indoor area with all the restaurants and that kind of stuff. We'll be talking with all the the owners, the events planner, all the chefs from the restaurants and that kind of stuff later tonight. Seriously, folks, Detroit Shipping Company, just get your ass down here. It's amazing.
I'm not going to lie, it's a little weird because this is the first time we're doing this in front of, we're like at a fishbowl, like the glass walls and everybody's.
There is a glass wall at the end of the container,
this place
but you can't see it because you're facing me.
Right, but this place is packed.
Oh, it's
and
ridiculous.
And everyone's walking by and I'm like, stop looking at me. Stop looking at me.
What are they doing in there? Are they talking on microphones?
They're recording.
There's this man that'll give you
$10 speaking to a can.
Talking to a can.
But no, this place it's grand opening tonight. It's actually open to the public. We're gonna have all the restaurants on in segment 3. Just crazy selection of food. You kind of come in, you buy what you want, you go to which bar you want. Nuri had like a pre-mixed some
kind of crazy cocktail that's pretty much all booze.
Right.
So I'm doing pretty good.
They got little no, but they're really good about. There's a little pop-up little selling beer, like like right behind us,
right outside the studio, which is beautiful. That'll
right,
come
exactly.
In
and I love it because I'm looking at Bob, but I'm not actually looking at Bob. I'm looking at all the beautiful women just hanging out behind Bob,
who are also not looking at Bob.
Yes,
Where's
they
the
are.
bells? We had bells in here. What's
Oh,
going
I
on?
forgot.
Oh, my God.
That'll be all right.
Dude in the
That'll
ball
be the trip
cap's
tomorrow.
not bad looking either.
Shut up, Randy.
So, hey, before we get rolling, our next networking event will be Ann Arbor. That'll be the
Tuesday the 3rd.
Cool. And where's that one going to be?
That'll be at the Pretzel Bell. Just
Cool.
kidding. That's not the 3rd. That's the 7th. Tuesday the 7th. My
Cool.
bad.
And then we've got free podcast day at the Royal Oak Studios this weekend. So
Yep.
that's a thing. So hit the podcastdetroit.com site, hit the free podcast day link, sign up, come check out the studios, play, do your thing. See why we suck less.
And slow rolls going on outside, and
I have not had an aneurysm yet. I'm so proud.
I didn't say a word. I haven't said a word.
On air.
Right. No,
Slow roll is good for Detroit. What are you talking about?
I think it's great. Just stop at the red lights. I'll hold my peace at that. I think it's cool getting all those people together, and it seems like it's fun. And
I can actually see him rolling behind you right now. Like I love this window.
How long does this go on for? They were rolling by earlier.
You see them
It's
rolling.
slow.
Well, it's
So
slow.
Oh, see, that's another one. Nuri sees them rolling. Bob's hating.
You go too many blocks the other way, you're definitely riding dirty.
So the story this week that absolutely infuriated me, and I knew this was going to happen, and I smelt bullshit the second that this thing came out, was this 23andMe.
I was so hoping this was the one.
Yeah, 23andMe, and if you haven't been following, it's when you give like a mouth swab and they tell you that you're from, part Indian.
Oh, it's supposed to be a mouth swab? Oops.
No.
I'm 12 people's parents? Holy shit.
I thought that was the poop in the box company.
No, there is. Do you know there's a poop in the box company? They ship you a shoebox and you poop it and you ship it back.
Bob, I'm not going to lie. I actually looked into it because I wanted to have one show up at your house just for the laughter and joy that I knew it would bring you.
Commercials are terrible.
But it's about $259.
Oh, forget that.
Yeah.
But the 23andMe, like you get the DNA test and they tell you where you're from and your family lineage and all that.
Yeah.
Cute, right? And you pay like $90 or $80 or whatever.
Could tell you that you're predisposed to some different types of diseases.
Sure.
Right?
That costs more.
Oh, that costs more.
They tell you what percentage victim you are.
Oh, come on.
100%.
Yes.
But they went, and you knew they were going to do it eventually. But here we have GlaxoSmithKline or Klein-Smith or whatever the company.
GlaxoSmithKline, yeah.
The pharmaceutical company. Basically, 23andMe has shared 5 million pieces of DNA with them.
How are you feeling about that, Randy?
So basically, you now are a service.
But
yeah, because basically now you're a lab rat for GlaxoSmithKline with no compensation whatsoever.
Zero. And that was the thing everybody says. Am I going to get a discount now? Because you willingly paid, and now they're willingly selling.
Well, yeah, because
DNA.
I mean, if you go to like if whenever they put out for medical trials and that kind of stuff, they pay people to do that stuff. So
pretty good money too.
Yeah. Where's especially like DNA testing and that kind of crap. Where's the check?
It's the Amazon Echo for drug testing.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute. We put a microphone in everyone's house and they paid for it.
What's even worse, you can't do anything about it. Like, you can't opt out of the service. You can close your account, but basically all the information has already been shared. So basically, if you don't want to be a part of this, you can't.
Well, if you opt out of anything future. But like this that they've already done and anything else they've already done.
Just the largest drug manufacturer in the entire world, right? No big deal.
It's a thing.
And this is GlaxoSmithKline. Like, it's funny, like, and they're paying for it. It's like, here we are getting all this free, or they paid 23andMe probably a lot of money.
Sure.
This isn't the first one though. They said that they've done 100 scientific papers based on customers' data.
Listen, if you can cure cancer, more power to you. But until that day comes, knock it off.
Well, they need to do this research to come up with the cure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if something good comes out of it,
that's the
I'm
story.
Hey, Bob, you want to spit in this cup real quick?
What?
You want to spit in this cup real quick?
No.
Oh, wow.
Man, you can have my backwash out of my beer I'm drinking.
I could probably get enough out of that.
Wow, you're 18%
No,
beer.
it takes quite a bit, actually.
And
it
the
takes
other
a good 2-3 teaspoons of saliva. I did this not too long ago.
This is me. I'm just going to let that pass. I'm just going to let that go. I'm not saying a damn word.
Would be so dung right now.
Yeah, I'm not.
So on the other one that came out, and I think the internet isn't as angry as I thought they were going to be, but the cast of Star Wars 9 has been revealed. J.J. Abrams is back.
I don't know why anybody's angry.
George Lucas is back.
Yeah.
As a consultant. The one cool thing that everybody's kind of a buzz about is is it Richard E. Grant?
Yeah.
Who he is going to be. Now, if you don't know who he is, Google him real quick. He looks like General Tarkin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm talking, that's a
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Sorry. He is an ominous looking dude. So they're thinking, oh my God, what's the character's name? I just totally lost it. I had it on my mind. He's in Rebels, and they're Thrawn. They're all saying General Thrawn.
Yeah, because that would make all the fanboys happy and shut them the hell up once and for all.
Indeed.
If they pull Thrawn on.
Indeed.
No, it
absolutely.
wouldn't.
No, yes, it would.
They say it would, but they'd find something new to bitch about.
True.
Yeah. And apparently Leia's getting a proper send-off.
Of course. And they're using the footage from 7 that they didn't use.
The daughters approved it.
Yeah. And Lando's back. We talked about that, though.
Yeah, well, you wonder what he's going to, again, you missed it not having him in 8.
Yeah, but
in the casino scene.
I did. But, then I flash back to when we saw him at the Comic-Con, and I'm like, well, maybe that's for the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, the puppet of Billy D. Williams.
Welcome to the Hall of Presidents, Lando Calrissian. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Bob and Dave and I.
Right. Sorry, he's in the intro. It's a thing.
Right.
So, since we're in Detroit, let's talk about soy tubes.
No.
Is that Randy's nickname?
No.
It is now.
The internet is abuzz over the launch or the announcement of
they open to the public
mustard and onions
Wednesday, chili mustard onions,
which sounds like a delicious restaurant. What are they serving there? Conies?
Vegan conies.
Oh, never mind.
So they're soy tubes
with no meat chili with no.
It reminds me of National Lampoon's Vacation. Don't know why they call it hamburger helper. It tastes just fine on its own.
By itself, yeah.
You know what's interesting? Like, when I was a vegetarian, that's the one thing that I felt like I was missing out on in Detroit was a coney, because that's so ubiquitous. So that's like Detroit is conies.
It is,
and I couldn't eat one. And when I finally had a chance, I'm like, what's all this buzz about? Like, I don't have the same.
So let me get this straight. They're calling it conies, but there's no hot dog.
They're calling it chili.
They're phonies.
They're calling it chili.
It's
but there's no
It's
beef
Phony
hearts.
Island.
Oh my God.
It's a phony island.
Oh
It's buying phonies at Phony Island.
So
If they
how
would
are
have
these
called it
conies?
that, I would eat. No, exactly. That's the thing I don't get. Like, why do you have to call it meat? Just call it soy tubes.
But they're also doing Coney Dogs chili cheese fries, a gyro, a beef ball sub, a chicken
How is it
parmesan.
cheese? You can't do cheese.
Well,
what is
you
it?
can if you're
How is it
vegetarian,
beef ball?
But not if
No,
you're
but it's vegan.
How is
So
it beef ball?
It's made out of nuts and oil. It sucks.
Ah.
Vegan cheese is the worst thing in the entire world.
Cashews.
So it's nut juice.
Gesundheit. So nut juice and soy tubes. Can that be the name of this place?
I think that's Randy's new nickname, nut juice and soy juice.
It's just Saturday night.
It is.
All right. Yeah.
Why
I
can't
wish.
why can't you just call it cashew paste? Why do you got to call it cheese?
Or cheese, I think is what they call it.
If it was Phony Island, I would totally eat there. Just
Phony Island, order a phony. We should walk in and be like, hey, I heard this is the Phony Island. I'd like to try one of your phonies.
How's your sausage?
How's your sausage?
This is the meatless, ballsiest thing I think you could have opened in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
But like, no,
I don't get it. I got nothing.
we need representation too.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm curious how the whole GM Maven thing. Like now you can ride, you can buy your car through GM, ride share your, like I don't get the difference between this Lyft and Uber. I'm a little confused.
No, it's rent. It's like Turo.
So I drive a 2018 Chevy Spark, so it qualifies for this, I believe. But
so it's Lyft and Uber, but only.
No, they don't drive the car for
It's
you. You
Turo,
give the
Dave.
car to somebody else.
Oh, it's fully renting out
It's
the car.
fully renting out the car.
Which I kind of commend GM for getting on the wagon and not ignoring that this is inevitable.
Well, didn't they just throw like $500 million at Lyft not too long ago?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the day where I don't have to drive my own car ever. I don't have to own a car.
But what's this program though? So it's like, it looks like it's $8 an hour to rent a car, which is great if you're doing short trips, an hour here, an hour there.
Hey, you know what? I need a Dodge Ram pickup because.
No, do you remember when we?
I got to go to the Home Depot.
Turo was a sponsor for us like 3 years ago when they first started, and it was it's Airbnb and you rent someone's car for the day.
But it has to be a GM car. So GM's basically having you buy the car, then having you rent the car out. What's their take? They get like $2 an hour, $4 an hour out of this, or
I'm sure they got a percentage
they gotta
somewhere.
get something out of it. And then I go down to Hertz, and on a weekend I can get a car for $26 a day.
Right?
Why is this going to be any good? Why am I going to do this?
Because you're renting it from me and not from a company. I don't know what the difference is.
It's more on demand. You go to the car instead of going to the car rental place.
I mean, it's kind of like Airbnb being my house. No offense, Neri, but I don't want you farting in my seat. You know, like
I've been to your house enough times. I have farted in your seats at least twice.
You can fart in my couch,
Same.
it's fine. But like, in my car, then I gotta, I don't want you. And then the seat's in the wrong spot, and radio stations are all goofed up.
Yeah, they're gonna ruin my ass groove.
Yeah, seriously, I don't know. So what? I get $30.
$9.20 that gets isolated.
Right.
I think SUVs were $14 an hour, which is still not bad. Like if you need to make a quick run to Home Depot,
Right.
for
Well,
$28.
that's
Wait,
why
the
I-
Home Depot truck is what? $15 an hour?
Yeah, but once you get all the fees and the gas and the
Oh, I don't
miles,
know. I've never done one.
oh, it sucks.
Oh, did not know.
Yeah, that was my my idea for to rent a pickup truck. Because I said I want to move a barbecue. I don't know, but the only problem is the app would have been called like Truck Buddies, and then I don't think it would have.
And then you're
You're one step away from Boober. You're
Exactly.
totally one step away from Boober.
No.
That's what the pedal cabs in Ann Arbor are called. Boober.
Oh.
What?
They listen to our show.
I know. My buddy Tony Klee knows the owner and was posting about that. I'm like, no, I'm going to need you to walk me through the flow chart of that naming process. There's no way that.
Oh, by the way, so for those not in the know,
But
go ahead.
speaking of Boober, the funny story of the week was Mia Khalifa, a porn star apparently, who was at the Stanley Cup Finals. And got her breast implant ruptured, by a slap shot that went up into the crowd, 80 odd miles an hour, hit her in the boob, ruptured her implant, and the internet went nuts about that, apparently.
I just want to see more pictures. Like this is
Right.
not enough.
Wait, because she said it was deflated. Well, how does that happen? Is there Fix-A-Flat for boobs?
No, the one quote that she says like that disgusted me. She goes, "If I let go, I'm afraid blood is going to go everywhere." And I was like,
blood? Wouldn't it be just the
That's what
silicone?
she said. I don't know.
Saline,
Yeah,
whatever they
who
put in
knows?
those things these days.
Who knows? Anyway, carry on.
No, speaking of which, funny story. I for those not in the know, I switched day jobs again. IT sales. It's common. It's very common. Cheers. And I'm actually in an office. So they said, "Hey, on the national sales call, whatever, like, tell us about yourself." So I told them, I'll host this show. And one of the guys was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I listened to that show. Which one are you?" I'm like, "Bob, a sales guy." He's like,
sales guy.
"Oh." He goes, "Now I hear your voice," and I'm like, "Yay, someone listens." I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Yay!
Yay!
Exactly.
You've got mail.
It only took him 4 times meeting me to put the 2 and 2 together.
Hey, which one are you? I'm Bob.
But honestly, though, yeah, exactly.
Sales guy.
My name is
Yeah,
Bob.
yeah.
Which made Jerry and Bob's office feel really bad, Dave.
Right.
But for those have been, I've been home office for 13 years.
Yeah, how's this going to work out for you?
I don't know, dude.
Do you have to go in every day?
No.
Okay, good.
They're chill. They're cool about everything, but there's some people that are there every day. And it's not bad. It's a good
It's gonna
area.
put a serious crimp on your gaming, Bob.
It's right across the street from town center. It's not a bad area. But
cool.
Yeah, good restaurants up and down Evergreen. So I mean, but
Ooh, Eddie's Gourmet.
I don't know.
There's a real great sushi place right there in Evergreen,
There's a
too.
good
It's
sushi
actually
place.
really good.
It's
Yeah.
across the street. I saw it. Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. So what else is going on?
We are 1 year out from the big old Equifax breach, and dude, have you heard what kind of chaos and penalties they're dealing
Oh
with?
my God, what did Congress do to Equifax?
Nothing.
So
Nada.
So let me get this
Zip.
straight.
Zero. Zilch.
So let me get this straight. Facebook has to sit in front of the Senate for God knows why.
Because they got the picture of your grandma's dog.
Right, wrong.
Right.
But Equifax
sells your social security number, an entire essence of being, to third parties.
And it's a product that you don't buy or opt in to use.
And you can't opt out of.
Right.
And their second quarter 2018 is up 2% from the same last year.
Of course it is.
It's the Tylenol of our
Because
generation.
you can't opt out of it. That's the issue.
So, like, how are they? Either they're paying off someone massively, or God knows what's going on.
Yeah, Senator. No, go ahead. Pull us up in front of Congress.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and take a look at your credit score? Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah.
Are you buying a house anytime soon? Good luck with that.
I saw an article today that's saying that under this current government, regulations against companies are down 94%.
What?
Yeah, so I'm guessing that the... Yeah, maybe.
Well, some would say yay and some would say and I get both sides of that argument. But, like, that's a lot. Just from, like, to go that hard and then to stop.
From the largest breach in Americans' history, with 150-something million, 147 million Americans' information was accessed,
Well,
and nothing has happened except the CEO retired.
If you face no repercussions, why not do it again?
Why
gives a
even have
shit?
cybersecurity?
Why even put a firewall in? Who gives a shit?
It's just not even. It's not even worth it. Just
leave the
no
doors
security, dude. It's like I was one of the podcast support groups or podcasters forums. People were yakking about, I've got an old Windows XP system that I'm still running Skype on, and I don't want to upgrade it because it costs too much, and and I don't want to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, you have so many issues because they're like, Skype won't support me because I'm on an old version and I'm on XP. I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but like, you've got bigger issues. Like, you're on XP, so you're running a version of Skype that's not the latest version. Anything earlier than the latest version is getting cut off in like 5 weeks.
Windows 10 is free
from network access. And, oh, by the way, you're clearly connected to the internet with a Windows XP system if it's taking Skype calls that is physically unable to be secured or patched or anything else any further.
Windows 10 is free.
People are dumb, dude.
Dumb.
Dumb. Sweet.
Dude.
Sweet.
And speaking of cybersecurity, a former Trump official says that no one is minding the store at the White House on cyber threats.
I did see that. That was an interesting one.
See, I don't buy that. My former job, which is basically cyber security, big data,
Nobody
analytics.
has taken away Trump's Twitter password. I believe this story.
But no,
I hope he's using LastPass and something really difficult.
Dude, there was a ton of projects going on at the executive branch of the federal government, which is the White House, right?
How many years ago was this?
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah. I know companies that got thrown out, companies that got brought in, companies that are working on projects.
So a lot of projects going on, but nothing actually launched. I think
Well, yeah, they might be saying, like there's a lot of vendors, but there's nobody at the counter at 7-Eleven, but the vendors are all delivering.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I believe it, though, because as of the beginning of June, there are still hundreds of positions that the new president has not appointed yet.
Didn't they just assign?
They just had a job fair at the White House because people keep quitting.
Jesus Christ.
But you know, like,
isn't there a CISO opening, though? Or didn't the CISO just get filled not too long ago?
I heard
maybe
the
I'm
position
wrong.
was open. I don't know that it got filled.
Okay.
The thing that gets me, though, is that there are multiple vendors of voting equipment that are basically vulnerable to attack. Like, was it last week that one of them actually installed PC Anywhere?
PC Anywhere, for the love of Christ.
And I think 21 states were actually targeted.
Yep.
And a lot of them were hacked. Like, do we know if votes were flipped? We don't. Like, I think there should be one standardized type of machine that's super uber security, maybe even not even used digitally. Maybe just use paper. I mean, voting is such an important part of our democracy. Why leave that up to something, a Windows XP machine?
Why leave it up
Anywhere,
to, say, your average American?
or Diebold or one of those other companies, right?
Well, I know that.
Or go the Estonia route and do a full public-private key encryption.
Or use blockchain.
Yeah.
Totally.
There are lots
Blockchain
of
voting.
solutions.
There we go.
All right, cell phone voting. I'm down with cell phone voting. You got two-factor authentication.
Dude, totally. Use Face ID.
Yes.
Yes.
All day.
Every day.
But then you can't go to the Wings game, and then my dad can't vote now.
Right. That's right. Now you can't. That's right. Can't go to a Pistons game. Can't vote. You're screwed. All right. Hey, take a break.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with John and Julie, the proprietors of the Detroit Shipping Company. This is the IT and the D Show.
And we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Life of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back, segment 2, episode 258. This is the IT and the D Show, and we are broadcasting live at our new Podcast Detroit location at the Detroit Shipping Company here on the Cass Corridor in Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek.
Hooray.
Nuri the FNG.
What?
Randy, I do the Twitters Walker. Find us online, itinthed.com, because, again, I'm going to say it once more. We are IT in the D. And
You're super not, you skeevy bastards.
And we can see your office from here.
Oh, do us a favor. Check out our Meet tab with all the events coming up. Subscribe to us everywhere fine podcasts are sold.
Yeah, so here we are, and we've got John, one of the guys that does he's one of the masterminds behind the Detroit Shipping Container Place.
The guy
Detroit
behind the
Shipping
guy,
Company.
behind the guy.
He is the peacock. And we've got Julie, who's doing all the event stuff here. And there's a lot of events going on here.
Yes, a lot. Too many. No, never too many.
Yeah, never do too many. So, John, I mean, let's talk through, grand opening tonight. I want
to go take a way step back. How the hell did you dream about welding together shipping containers and starting a bar?
You want to go deep.
I want to go there. Yeah.
Bob likes to go deep.
I mean, close your eyes and picture date night at Original House of Pancakes.
Right?
Wife and I sitting there. There's so many layers to what brought us to this point. I have 4 children, and my aunt, I was sitting talking to her.
And so I needed to not be home as much.
Not to be home but talking to my aunt, and she has a child in Japan and a child in Seattle, and so she has to travel the world to see her kids. Why is that? Because Detroit didn't have a strong economy. When people graduate college, they leave. And then that same month or two, my partner here, Jim, who moved to New York, was having his bachelor party, and if all of our friends who moved out of state had to fly, so shall John. So we ended up doing a bachelor party in New Orleans. So we're down in New Orleans having drinks and talking about it, about how everyone left, and what's our share to help, the revitalization of the city. And so, I mean, all we could do is just throw money because that's all we have is our ability, right? John, you're there. We'll all chip some cash in, go buy a building or something. And when you have no end purpose for that building, it actually is a fruitless venture.
Yeah.
But you drive around and you start learning the landscape of the city and really the cost structures and the markets around you. And so in that time, it was about a 2-year period of this all just kind of maturing. And we're all kind of on the same social media. In my other business, I did a lot of custom homework and a lot of restaurant remodeling and build-outs for corporate restaurants. So I'm always online looking at different ideas and concepts, and single-container build-outs for retail kept popping up. And I always use this word, but they're super charming, right? And I just really wanted to do that. So back to that date night at Original House of Pancakes, I was sitting there waiting for my Dutch boy.
Moon's over my hammy.
Yeah, I go with
That's Denny's.
That's Denny's crap.
Yeah, I know.
Which apparently they don't serve that anymore.
No, it's not on the menu anymore.
Blasphemy.
I'm offended.
I'm rioting.
I'm triggered.
So in that moment, you just kind of drew up on a napkin 5 rectangles, in a little circle around a center point. And I just said, if it's food, drink, coffee, entertainment, with a kind of communal seating and an open air event, would you be okay if I did this? And of course, your wife's like, whatever, buddy. And that kind of opened it up. So called back to all the guys on the bachelor party, narrowed it down to 4 guys who are willing to get into it. Financial planner, marketing guy, an architect, and me.
I feel like our bachelor parties were not this well populated with resourced people, Bob.
No.
How to work IT person 1, how to work IT person 2. Right.
Yeah. And there was this guy I started formulating it, right? Found some land in Corktown, right on Michigan Avenue. And from there, our 5-container little venture took 3 years and a lot of miles of my life to get to a 21-container, music venue like this.
So did it take longer than you expected? I mean, 3 years is kind of maybe that's not a long time to go from concept to execution, but did you plan on 3 years? Is it easy doing business in the city of Detroit with building?
Well, the city wasn't the problem. Our ignorance was the problem because you just always assume that's the final step and then you go. And people around you, there's a lot of ignorance as to what the process is. And we were coming out of bankruptcy, right? And so the city is rewriting policy and trying to do things correctly. So therefore, a lot of times,
we just passed the 5-year anniversary of that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I would hear things like, well, you're a test subject for this, which is great.
You don't need a fire suppression system. Used to be kind of how it was.
Yeah. Right.
There's still lots of venues around here that don't have those things,
Right.
but you actually got the full rigmarole of all the process.
We're going to figure it out together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, every level, right? Getting DTE, their new process. Flint happened, and then, of course, we're buying vacant land in the city. So as we go to close our loan, you need approval by MDEQ, and they just didn't want to respond because they're waiting for their policy changes. So those were months and months of delays. We also bought land that wasn't zoned correctly, so we had to rezone the neighborhood. We got a cabaret license. I mean, the first venture we went to, we did everything. Right? Instead of just buying a small 2,000 square foot existing building that we're just changing taps on, we built a structure that was, a new concept out of a, non-standard substrate in an area that had contaminated soil and that has been vacant for 20 years in a city that went bankrupt.
Well, no, and I remember, dude. So, like, from the first conversation I had with Petros, 6 months ago now. When he randomly wound up in our studios and wanted to yak and, talk about, putting this down here and watching this come together. Because, like, the first time I came down here, it was the shell. Like, it was just boxes stacked on top of boxes, and that was it.
Post-erection party, yeah.
Yeah, and it was, and then, especially, like, the last 3-4 weeks, it's been insane watching just the swarm of activity that's been going on here to get this to where it is right now. So, I mean, kudos is the point of that.
Thank you. We're very tired.
When my beard grows out, you'll see the white.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing when my first day here. I remember I took a look at you and I said, it's funny. If you would have bought it and retrofitted an old building, you'd have just been someone else and no one cares.
Or built this out of cinder
You do this
block,
out of
yeah.
shipping containers, and all of a sudden you're in the Wall Street Journal. And I go, it's amazing how people perception is such a big part of this.
Like a year and a half ago, there was these nights where I couldn't sleep because of the stress, right? So we're building, and you put together the three, catch things, right? In Detroit, shipping containers, food hall. So in my mind, this is going to hit some sort of national poll, national magazines, where it's going to be listed against other cities, entries to that world. And I was like, I can't screw this up for the city. And so there was a good amount of just stress, like, oh, am I doing this right? Am I capable to get this done? Will it be good enough to that showcases Detroit? And
Well, and that's a funny thing. We follow social pretty tight, and we're watching reviews, and people are negatively reviewing this a year ago, complaining about God knows what. I mean, I guess positives probably outweighed negative 99-1, but I mean, would you even just let it? Let it
reviews,
go?
I've noticed. Yeah, the reviews have come a long way since the soft opening.
Right.
Because before it was just the people putting shipping containers in neighborhood, gentrified, people. Shut up.
Correct. No, it's come a long way, right? People can come now and see it, and they can actually give us our negative reviews for real efforts.
No, but I have, dude. In the time, especially with since the soft opening, I've been here a lot. Tweaking stuff here and there, and I've seen a lot of people from the neighborhood come wandering in.
Yep.
And they're like, "Wow, this is really cool."
Yeah.
I don't know what they thought it was going to be.
Nobody
granted,
knows.
one guy tried to steal the sprinkler, but that's a whole different
But you caught him, so that was
and my one comment, I don't know if you think this is a good thing or a bad thing. I said, when we were sitting down there for the media day, friends and family day, and I go, there's certain bars in town where you don't feel like you're here. I'm not saying I'm on vacation, but I feel like I'm not here, and I give it that as a compliment. But I mean, what's the feedback you've been getting in terms of, not in Detroit, Randy? Stop shaking your head. But what kind of feedback have you gotten in terms of? I mean, granted, this place is sexy as hell, but I mean, you kind of get that. You kind of took me somewhere else.
Right. So we're still 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
So I still get my mom calling me, and actually she calls Julie too, which is awesome.
a lot. She's really lovely.
Letting me know how my aunt's experience was, and like a cold piece of meat or something, right? That's the world I'm in right now.
Yeah.
I probably need 2 months to step back and look and get really hear people's praise, because we're still in our operational tweaking moment, and so all I can see is the moments that we're not hitting it. Right, and so I haven't really. The praise is just kind of fodder in the background,
right?
And then I'm just hyper focused on where the fails are.
Well, you're in an interesting space because you're subleasing the restaurants in one of the bars, and if somebody has a bad experience at one of the restaurants that you're not in control of, it's reflective on the whole entire brand.
It's the worst meatball sandwich ever episodes that we did about the airport.
Yeah,
hey, I got a cold piece of pizza at Sparrow, 1-star DTW.
DTW, right?
What?
Right.
I didn't even know Sparrow had warm pizza.
Right.
Really, let's be truthful.
So, I mean, how do you tackle that?
So, because it took us 3 years to get going, and some of these restaurateurs have been in tow with us for a year and a half, what we end up doing is Friday phone calls, and we get all the restaurateurs, and we have an amazing group of chefs, and we would talk about how we wanted to present and how we wanted to deal with items like that. And so the answer is, they're all high level and they're all hyper focused and watching what's going on, and so it's kind of good back and forth. It's not someone who's neglecting their duty or neglecting their space. And if someone's going to write that, someone's going to write that, right?
Yeah.
And you can only focus on the moment right there. So if someone has is not happy with their food, and as the bar owner and the venue owner, all I can do is say, we're sorry. Let us comp a drink for you, and we're going to tell the chef over there.
Yeah.
And we can't touch their food and comp, but we can let them know, because negative feedback, positive feedback, it's all something good, right?
Absolutely.
If you don't say anything, then we can't solve anything.
Well, yeah, and we do. I mean, we've had this conversation a million times. We live in a 1-star, 5-star world now.
Yeah.
There's no, that was all right.
Right.
No, it's either best place ever, sucks.
And the problem is, if you left a 3-star review saying it was all right,
it's viewed as sucks.
It's viewed as sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
Interesting, right? I saw a lot of that on Yelp.
Yeah.
Was that interesting venue, really, really excited to be there and all that, and then 3 stars.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
What did I do wrong?
Or a 4-star, the greatest place I've ever been to, 4
Right.
stars. That just means that person has a really high level of their standard.
Isn't 3 on Yelp good anyway?
Didn't get happy ending.
It says
4
okay.
stars.
It says okay?
So 3 on Yelp is okay.
Which is, which should be viewed as okay, fine, it's fine.
Yeah. It's a place to go.
Right.
Yeah.
If somebody came on maybe our first night or second night and just kind of wrote a lot of nasty comments about the experience of a place that just opened up. And,
the worst.
With no sense that they're figuring it out too, and this is a soft open, and it wrote back, "We'll give you one more chance."
Oh,
wow!
Thank you so much.
Well,
I think
Really
you've done a great.
Well, I mean, that sounds about white.
No, I think you guys have done a great job. Like all your restaurants are incredible down there. I had tonight from the Bangkok 96 their pad Thai roll.
Oh,
dude,
the best.
And asked for it hot.
That pad Thai, it's not a roll.
Oh, you're a brave man.
It's a burrito.
Big old burrito.
It's amazing.
But it's almost
so
like
good.
sushi. We do it with chopsticks and it's covered in fish sauce. Like you guys have obviously curated a very fantastic set of restaurants. I don't see that being a problem. And then your vibe and the bars, like you're sitting on a gem here. This is incredible.
Not an exaggeration. We vetted about 60 restaurants.
60.
Probably received over 100 applications, and then just went through a rigorous process. So
I mean, tasting everyone's food.
60 we got to phone call.
Oh.
Probably 40 got to tastings, right? And then down to the 5 we had.
Well, so and you've still got 3 more to come.
That's correct.
That still haven't opened their doors yet.
That is correct.
So it's Motor
Burger out of Windsor again. Bread Meets Bread out of Windsor. And then Negative 320, which is Nisharth Patel. He'll be open in 2 weeks.
Cool.
Negative 320 is ice cream, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I
it's
missed
the coffee
tonight.
shop and the liquid nitrogen ice cream.
That's correct.
So good.
Yeah, I've had a
Trust me,
bunch of conversations.
Every
He's like,
morning
he's
when
here
I'm
every day. I am.
When
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm tired. I'm like, when the fuck are you opening?
I was here for the media preview, and the line was so long for the ice cream. I'm
Yeah.
like, I just can't even.
Oh, it's a great spot and great time for him to be there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm really happy about here, too, is that I notice this is not just folks from Auburn Hills or Rochester. This is a very diverse space full of people, and everybody's having a great time.
Very, very important.
I think that's a super important thing to have in this kind of space in Detroit. What do you do to bring that in? How do you, or is it just kind of organically happening?
Well, we you guys are in media. You understand there's bubbles, right?
Right.
And you personally have a bubble, and then Dave has a bubble, and we all have these bubbles, right? And if we all here went to open a place, the cross mingling would be very heavy, and we wouldn't have a big segment. And we understood that. And so, in vetting the restaurants, that was one piece. Are they coming from a different part of town? Are they coming from a different demographic, and all that? And making sure that our staff was set up that way. Everyone's set up so that when they social media hit something, when they market something, it's not just to the same people; it's to different groups. And so, when someone comes from Bangkok 96, they would never have known about Bread Meets Bread or Coop or Brujo or 320, and now they do, and it opens up that to everyone else.
Well, I mean, if you look at, you got Reefermen playing blues right now. You're gonna have techno nights. You're gonna have 80s nights. You're gonna. It's not just diverse in terms of the crowd. It's diverse in terms of the events. This place is gonna morph into something different almost every night. You guys have stuff going on.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the layers of it, right?
Absolutely.
They all intertwine together.
Yep.
So, I mean, other than the ones we don't know about, Julie, what else is going on here?
Well, so we're going to have Quizzo every week on Tuesday, so that's just going to be a normal. So we want to obviously attract, the college kids, have them come down here on a Tuesday. But then we have Dan Tillery that plays music on Sundays. We have art that changes every month. So we have art release parties on Wednesdays. We have Beer Festival, which is very important. We're going to have that September 29th. We're going to have Noel night. We're going to have a big splash there. And then Nain Rouge, if you're familiar, is huge. And they do the path right there. So we're going to have a huge block party and beer circus.
What about wiener dog races?
There's always going to be a wiener dog race because that's what John wants.
I didn't hear
Nuri
Oktoberfest.
may or may not be involved with
Beer
Main
Fest,
Rouge.
so it's September 29th. So it's technically Oktoberfest is in September. So it's September 29th.
Did you know that, Bob?
I was not aware of that.
Das ist gut. Yes. So, but
I may or may not know the greatest German Oktoberfest DJ in Metro Detroit.
Is it DJ Glockenspiel?
Yes, I am aware of his presence, yes.
Oh my gosh, let me know. We're going to have karaoke because I figure everybody will be drunk and they'll be happy to sing.
Absolutely.
So.
But you have to do German songs.
Oh.
That's the...
There's 3 songs, 99 Luftballons, Du Hast,
Du Hast.
and Der Kommissar, and then repeat.
And Dankeschön.
Right, yeah.
Right. And then like the Ziggy Zaggy.
Right.
Yeah, we'll just do that. Girls on trampolines, no
Right.
problem. But yeah, we have a lot planned.
What's
We have a
that
lot of
date
people
again?
interested. There's a lot of people that are interested in having weddings here, Christmas parties, you name it. So it's really great. And like you said, we have a lot of diversity and we're just going to keep encouraging it.
Absolutely. No, it's great.
So, I mean, like, how do people get in touch with you to find out about booking an event, that kind of stuff?
So on our website, there is a event inquiry form,
which is
as well as pricing.
DetroitShippingCompany.com. Yes,
Yes, that's correct. So you can go on there. You can go on our website. They can message us through Facebook or Instagram, or they can just come in. Honestly, I think I've had my best success with that, even from the inquiries, because nobody understands the space.
We're the same way with the studios.
Yeah.
We're not answering questions via email. Come in and talk with us.
Please just
Yep.
come in, because the thing is that, like you guys said, it morphs into so many different things that we can't just really describe it like, okay, this room is flat rate X. It's like, okay, do you want the stage? Do you want T-shirts? Do you want a promo bar? Do you want an art gallery? They're like, I can't believe it. So
Right.
Well, yeah, we'll be talking with the Armadillo later too. I mean, that's one of the cool things that's here is you've basically got an on-demand screen print shop sitting right there.
it's marketing layered at its finest. So I tell people all the time, I'm like, you want to do this? You want shirts? You don't even have to go pick them up. Do you want to do a podcast?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah,
you guys.
Oh, you need a 2X? Here, hold on, 5 minutes. Yeah,
No, it's great.
My biggest issue with this place is I don't know where to sit because I want to sit everywhere. When I'm up here, I want to sit down there. When I'm down there, I want to sit up
Right.
here. When I'm on this side, I want to sit on that side. When I'm on that side, I want to sit on the inside. Like literally every time I come here, I'm like, I can't sit still because I'm always want to like that. They look like they're having more fun up there. It's almost like this thing where everybody's,
I saw you wanting to throw those bags earlier, Bob.
I totally did.
Bob's a huge cornhole fan.
I am.
Oh my gosh, let's have a league.
So, John, I know you literally just opened today, but the obligatory question, what's next?
Oh, man.
Wiener dog races.
I'm not sure if I want to say just because it's not in control. So, I'm behind the Alamo Draft House, and that's a block away. And so we're working on that to bring a first-run movie theater to Midtown. So well needed. When we did start this, we looked around. We saw a lot of vacant land, a lot of buildings that were being overpriced and held. And so our goal was to activate as much as possible to create and help walkability in the area. We bought 3700 3rd Street, and we're actually getting our permits this week to start construction in about a month on that, which will activate 10 apartments that have been vacant for about 20 years and 6,500 feet of retail.
Can you call it the lofts at Kenny's house? And
I wish I could. we call it it's a Five and Dive building. There used to be a Five and Dive
cool.
there. And
Soda Sopa?
There'll be a women's day spa there and a slider shop.
Nice.
Which you can call the dime piece.
Absolutely.
Why aren't you marketing, Dave?
Shitty Pot Town.
Shitty Pot Town.
Well, this is old China. Technically, this is
It
old.
is.
So what? Yeah. Do you know the story behind that? Because I was reading, and this is part of old Chinatown. I had no idea that actually existed in Detroit lore. Do you know any history on in terms of that?
So my history depth is not that far along. It's actually more related to myself. Is when we were excavating for the construction, we found there was a buried structure here. Used to be an apartment here. So we actually salvaged a lot of the bricks we found. And I came to find out that a good friend of mine, when their family moved from the Philippines here, this was the first building they were in. So we ended up saving some bricks for the parents.
Oh, that's way cool.
Very cool.
Wow. That's
Yeah, but
awesome.
there's a vacant Chinese restaurant. I found someone semi-famous just bought it, and they're remodeling it.
Jim Brady's.
Yep. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Jim Brady,
Diamond Jim
yeah.
Brady's.
Diamond Jim Brady's. So in our street, we'll have the Peterborough, Jim Brady's, Shipyard, and then behind us there, Founders. So a nice little quadrant foods.
Right.
And then apparently a brewery moving in at some point in time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
All right. Well, hey. So I guess anything we missed? Anything you want to hit on?
I was
before
going to
we
say
take a break?
this. I just looked at hours because Randy was asking during the break. This place is open 7 days a week from 11 in the morning till midnight, and then 2 in the morning on Friday and
Yep.
Saturday. That's nuts. And when you look at Detroit, like most places, when
Dude,
there's
that's
not
been
a-
our biggest complaint is
Well,
wandering
yeah.
around downtown and
Consistent.
everything shuts down at 10.
when it's not a ball game.
Yeah.
And
Right.
a lot of stuff's closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
Which is huge. So we're happy to be open every day.
Yeah, chicken and the egg, right?
Yeah.
Do you create the market, or does the market create you? How do you know the market's there
Right.
until you actually put it out there?
Right.
So, being that we're opening, we're going to let it fly for at least 3 months and see if we can create it.
And especially being a bike ride from Wayne State campus, you got a plethora of
a plethora.
And we can see Motor City from here, right? So their
The view's
restaurants,
unbelievable.
in my opinion, aren't that great.
Oh,
so
that's the
you're
worst.
staying there. Come on over here and eat some delicious Thai food, or
Yeah.
just grab it. Yeah.
Listen to some free music. Why not?
I mean, Reefermen. I mean, I've been listening to these guys since I've been 21. I'm 45 now. But these guys have been
Same
around
set list.
forever. Yes, pretty much same set list.
Who did we have earlier, Julie?
Ryan Liddell.
And so we have young acoustic earlier in the day, and then we close out with Reefermen, right? So
Yeah.
just switching it up.
I mean, they're quintessential Detroit Blues. It was kind of cool seeing them on stage. And I'm like, oh my God, total flashback. But that was
They'll be
great.
back. They'll be at Beer Fest.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool.
In fact, James said he wants to come in here and talk to you guys later.
All right, cool.
Beautiful.
We'll be here.
All right, so it's DetroitShippingCompany.com. Check it out. Check them out on Facebook, Detroit Shipping Company. We'll have all the links in the recap and all that stuff. Or God knows we've been posting about it long enough. If you don't already know, just go to our pages. Go
Better
to our
ask
site.
somebody.
Click a damn link. For the
Oh,
love of
you
God.
didn't know?
Yes,
John,
do
Julie,
now.
honestly, congratulations on your grand opening today.
Thank you.
Look forward to hanging out here many, many nights this summer and this year and years to come.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Hey,
you.
we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Petros, Chef Max, and all the restaurateurs here at Detroit Shipping Company. This is the IT and the D Show.
And we'll be right back.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
ITinthed.com.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. Segment 3, episode 258. This is the one and only IT in the D Show, broadcasted live in our brand new studio here at Podcast Detroit in the Detroit Shipping Company.
It's pretty damn cool.
Kind
of loving it.
In the Cass Corridor in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy.
No, it's
hanging out.
downtown.
No,
Randy.
it's not.
It's downtown.
Not
Randy.
at all.
That's
Shut
Dave the
up, Randy.
Geek, Nuri the FNG, and Randy do the Twitter's
No,
walker.
Randy, the I official am the map of Detroit walker.
Wait,
there.
First one.
He's doing it. Oh, we haven't done that. We haven't done that in ages. Find us online, itinthed.com. Do us a favor. Subscribe to us on the socials and like us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold.
Do your thing.
I did it backwards.
You did.
That's all right.
It's all right.
Did it on purpose.
So you talk music, Bob. Do your thing.
Dude, this is great. Like, honest to God, we met with John and Julie talking about opening this place up. Now we're going to talk to one of the restaurateurs and the featured band act of tonight. We got James in the house from the Reefermen, Petros in the house. How you guys doing?
Great.
Doing well.
So, I mean, I don't, it's funny now. I've been in this town a long time. I've heard a lot of bands play. You guys played your first time. I go, oh, it's the Reefermen. Like, you guys have such a distinct, and that's the thing that where I was talking about. Like, no one doesn't like the blues. That's such a ubiquitous sound and such a cool. I mean, I don't mean to. Here I am, just going. I love you. You guys are great. You're amazing.
Gosh.
No, but seriously, how long have you guys been doing your thing?
Me and Bobby East, the guitar player, have been together for 24 years.
Okay.
And we've just been playing festivals, casinos, clubs all around Detroit. I'm really, really excited about this place. Got a chance to come in a few times when they were finishing the construction. I was like, this is going to be awesome. And coming in today, it just blew my mind. And the whole vibe with the slow roll down here and just people getting exposed to what's happening here. This complex is just unbelievable.
You see people walk in and their eyes get wide, and it's like
I see people just looking around like swiveling their heads back and forth and pointing their fingers like, look at that. Check
Did you see that?
Wow,
See that? Yeah.
Let's go up here and check this out. It's so great.
Well, then you don't know. There's so many restaurants in here. You got you're gonna have 6 different choices. It's like you don't even know what to eat next. It's like I haven't tried that yet. And, it seems like one of those things where you have a different experience every time you can come here.
I had one of Petro's mole tacos, amazing,
Thank
and
you.
then I had some of the papaya salad from the.
Bangkok.
They
do it legit, and they use the fresh Thai chilies, which will light you up if you like it hot. Oh,
Nuri was sweating so bad earlier.
I said medium. Like with a question mark. Medium.
It was the question mark that got you 3 extra sprinkles.
we haven't told this story on the show yet, but we made our biggest mistake, I think, as human beings. When we were here for Friends and Family Media Preview, a gentleman comes up to us and says, "Hey, I do PR for Chef Max." And I go, "That's great. I don't know, oh, it's from Coop. Yeah, I know who he is. He's Ice Cube's personal chef." And I go, "Cool." He goes, "Why don't you come down here Friday and show Cube what you got?" And I go, "Here's my card. Give me a call." So all of a sudden, no call. So Dave goes and does his thing. I do my thing. Dave gets a phone call around 10 o'clock at night going, "Ice Cube wants to see your studio." Like, we're not here. Like,
suck at life and fail.
I know, we're awful human beings. We'll go to the box for 2 minutes and feel shame.
We go to the box for 2 minutes and feel shame, yeah. So, I mean, I guess, what's it like, playing in a venue like this? I mean, that's
Yeah, we weren't sure what to expect. The owners aren't sure what to expect. Let's see how this works. Petro's telling me that they're going to have maybe DJs, acoustic acts, full bands. So we come in here and I got a chance to see the place before they opened up the doors. And I'm like, this is a great space. I wasn't sure how the acoustics were going to sound with this, metal and glass.
Right.
But the open air really helps. That being said, with the place being full of people from the slow roll, it's just such a cool, great vibe.
Well, not just that, you get to hang I call it the Thunderdome ledges where you're hanging over from the second floor.
There's all these different. I kept looking around, seeing all these people from different angles. Here's a couple there. Here's like 4 girls over here. Here's a bunch of dudes leaning over the edge, checking out the Detroit skyline, looking down into the Thunderdome,
or checking out that table full of girls. Yeah,
right. Well, then of course at the Nino Brown suite in the middle there,
right,
all glass enclosed boardroom.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no, seriously, there's something for every. If you want quiet, you want loud, you want to be in the action, you want to watch. I mean, there's really. I can't say it enough. There's
a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, a little something for everyone.
And that's with slow roll now. It's a great cross section of types of people. It was like some people with kids and all ages, and everybody's, digging the place, digging the music. So it's great for us,
awesome.
That's, give me a room full of people and I'm going to entertain them,
Well, hey, I know you got to hop back on stage. Yes. Where do we find out more about the Reefermen?
The Reefermen on Facebook. One word, REEFER, Reefermen. And, we play all over town. Got the Arts Beats and Eats coming up. We got August 18th. We're going to be here at Detroit Shipping Company again on a Saturday night. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have, they have a great, Armadillo, Printwear is going to have, for that night only, have our t-shirt, that's only available here.
Nice.
For that night that we're playing here. So people can come get their, t-shirts. It's really cool the way the screen printer's set up. You can pick out, what screen you want, and then what shirt, what size, and then they print it up right there in front of you, and it dries, and
it's on demand. It's amazing how to have something like that right here is so cool.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that, and this whole thing, this guy's going to be a smashing success.
We're excited to have you.
Great.
All right, cool. Well, hey,
I want to go back on stage. You guys have fun.
Right. Have a good night.
James from the Reefermen, one of the great local bands. If you have not seen them live, do yourself a favor. Shame on you, and go see them. Honestly, probably one of the best blues bands in town, and lucky enough to be able to talk to James. So,
all right. So, Petro, let's dive in, man.
For sure. I you know what? I feel hesitant because I'm not as cool as him. I feel like we could just talk about stuff. So,
well, no. So, I mean, you've kind of you've dove in on the management side here. You've got Brujo downstairs. I mean, let's talk about getting involved here and why this place and why that made sense to you as a restaurateur.
Sure. Yeah. I it was 2 years ago. I just came back from a meeting with a large camp, the Illich camp in CBRE, and they're talking about possible space next to the stadium. And I'd done a tasting for them in my restaurant Republica, and I actually blogged about it where it's just afterwards I didn't feel like it was a fit. And my partners for Brujo, they're like, hey, we saw this sign. And I was like, what sign? And so lo and behold, there's a giant sign on this property that says, hey, looking for restaurateurs. And so I put my, submitted.
I got Ace of Base stuck in my head right now. Thanks a lot.
I saw the sign.
Yeah. So I told myself that I was going to go ahead and submit. So I had this really awesome sandwich concept called Pickles and Witches, and it was going to be amazing, right? And I was super stoked about it, and I submitted it, and they came in and tasted, and they're like, but we got a sandwich guy. And I was like, well, that sucks. I was really stoked. And then John's like, but we need tacos. Can you do tacos? And I'm like, I think I could do tacos. Yeah.
I can make that work.
For sure. And so lo and behold, I got together with my partners and, we decided that we were going to, make a taco spot. But truthfully, I wanted to make the most unique and innovative kind of cutting edge food in Detroit, and I really wanted to showcase some of the things I can do. And when all that was set aside, and we're like, perfect, let's open. And 6 months went by, 8 months went by,
right?
9 months went by, And we're like, what's going on? And there's so many delays with the property. And about a year after I came on the project, John and Jim, principal owners, they came to me, they're like, listen, we know marketing, we know construction, we don't know food and beverage. And this is when I came on as an operating partner, and I took her home in the last 10 months. And, we're glad to see her open, and we're excited.
Well, yeah, and we wound up here because you were a guest on one of our shows, Godwin with Refrigerator Diaries.
Yeah, for sure.
And Godwin ran out and grabbed me. He was like, hey, there's somebody here that wants to talk to you. And we had that first chat.
I walked into the studio in Royal Oak, and the first thing I felt was I was at home because I'm super geek. And, I go to cons all my life, and, I play competitive card games and competitive video games. And I'm a stealth model. They stopped building me in 2002, right? So, you walk in, it's like, oh, it's super cool Chef Petro. And it's like, actually, I just go home and play World of Warcraft.
Right.
And so when I walked in, I'm like, this feels so comfortable. I'm like, I need this around me at all times. So you guys are actually solely here just for me. That's it. Yeah,
that's fine. We're good with that.
Yeah, I know you guys.
We need a space for one of the walls for all of our Comic-Con stuff, though. I feel like there needs to be the Podcast Detroit Wall of Fame.
Well, so I've been talking to the custom sound tile guy.
Yeah.
Ever since Cleveland.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out how to take some of the best pieces that we have and turn them into soundproof tiles. So we can do that down here.
Right. Yeah, we need something.
Yeah.
That's part of the vibe,
It is.
There's shifty eyes in the room.
For all you listening at home.
No, so you kind of dove in here. So let's talk about Brujo and what it is and what it does and what people should expect when they go there.
Yeah, so I am it's a halal kitchen. And let me preface this with, I am the first Greek Orthodox Christian chef to open a halal Mexican taco spot in Spanish tapas.
Wow,
hit the bell on that one.
That's a lot of things. Yeah. Wow.
Only in Detroit. That's what it's about.
and vegan conies.
Right.
Yeah, for sure, right? And my partners are Muslim, and they're like, listen, we want to be involved, but we want to do halal food because we think that halal food is underrepresented, and especially when it comes to high-end cuisine. And I said, well, I want to do tacos, and I also want to do high-end cuisine, so let's do high-end tacos, and let's do Spanish ball plates. And I had just recently, at that point, come from an eating tour in New Orleans, and I went to an amazing restaurant.
I feel like that's something you would want to go on, Bob. An eating tour.
Let's do it.
I do that every day.
It's you go to these cities to kind of absorb all the culinary. And I went to New Orleans, by the way, which is the greatest place on earth.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like I love Detroit, obviously now, and I'm a Chicagoan, but New Orleans, man, is
Oh, it's such a great town.
Yeah. And I went to a restaurant who at that point was a brand new restaurant called N7. And it was off the beaten path, super hipster. It was in an alley with an unmarked gate that's spray painted N7. And you walk in and it's an old house, kind of retrofitted to a restaurant. And I'm just like, this is a cool vibe. And on the menu, they had canned imported seafood. And I'm going to my wife. I'm like, this is a thing. And she's like, it's not a thing. I'm like, it's definitely a thing. I'm like, this is one of the most amazing things that I've seen on a menu in a long time. And I've been doing this now 20 years. And I started doing more research on it. And I left N7 telling the owners, I was like, you guys are doing something amazing here. And you guys,
and I'm totally going to steal it.
And I'm totally going to steal it. And lo and behold, 6 months later, their top 10 opens Food and Wine in America.
Awesome.
And they're doing it off the back of canned seafood. Because right now we're getting the highest quality canned seafood that we've ever known. They're focused on sustainability and intricate sauces and olive oils. And we're really getting, there's a couple like Jose Gourmet and Mayez that's just really knocking it out of the park. And so the thought process was
interesting because, like, normally when you think seafood, you don't think canned, you think fresh.
Yeah, for sure. But now we live in a world of sustainability, right? So as a restaurateur, I have a can of seafood that I purchase and can last indefinite amounts of time on my shelf.
You have no food shrink, basically.
Yeah. And I can feed the masses for a longer period of time, not having to worry about seasonality,
right?
Because it's always available to me. And not only that, but it's getting packed in such an amazing. I've got a spicy calamari in a tomato ragu, and I've got octopus in one of the highest grade olive oils. We're literally drinking the liquor out of it. That's how amazing it is. And
You had that on your menu tonight, right? You had some
Yeah.
kind of octopus salad on the menu?
Yeah, the octopus enchilada. It's really, for me, a lot of what I do focuses on my core, and my core is Greek, obviously. I'm son of an immigrant, and both immigrant parents. And how I learned to cook was Mediterranean Greek. And so the octopus enchilada is the extremely high-grade octopus, and then I toss it with Greek feta, fresh dill, red onions, as well as heirloom cherry tomatoes. And then I put it back in the can. And then we do a balsamic glaze, and you can see it on Instagram. People were pretty floored by it. And I make sure I flag all the logoed cans so that people can see it's actually coming from and what the providers are. And I was super excited that Mayez started following me on Instagram. I was like, this is it. We're going to break free. And then I realized they had like 100 followers. I'm like, don't worry. I was like, we'll get you there. We'll get it going.
So I had Thai earlier, but I think I'm in for a fourth meal. I think you just sold me on fourth meal.
Thank you.
All right, so where do we find out more about Brujo, and how do we find out more about all the stuff you've got going on?
Yeah, so definitely find us on all the social medias, brujodetroit.com.
It's BRUJO.
Yep, BRUJO. And definitely check out our menu. My summer menu is on the site right now, and then every single item in the menu is paired to a song, so you can listen to my menu on Spotify. And
and you've talked about doing the whole.
amazing.
I was saying you've talked about doing the whole like streaming thing, video from the kitchen.
Yeah, so I can no longer stream World of Warcraft, so I'm trying to find to supplement my income, and so I'm going to stream from my kitchen making tacos. No, and so we're going to be streaming live. You're going to find us on Facebook, find us on Twitch, of course. We're going to probably roll out Twitch hard in November, and then Facebook. We've been doing some RLs sporadically, but we're going to be programming something more consistent.
Awesome.
Why don't we have an esports tournament here? We know a couple
We've
people.
already started talking to Neil about
I was going to
that.
say.
Yeah.
And my mouth is watering as I'm reading your menu, so obviously I'm definitely in for fourth meal.
All right.
Now you got to listen to it, right? That's the
so
dimension
incredible.
that you don't get. We don't, as chefs, we never get to affect the auditory.
Right.
We can only affect taste and smell. And
Other than
texture.
order up.
Yeah, order up.
We're outside of a mouth crunch or something.
Right,
right?
Yeah. So the auditory is, and in fact, I was approached. We're probably going to be doing silent pop-ups in the spring, where we'll do like 8 courses entirely silent with headphones, with music, and to every single course.
Very cool.
Following you now on all the social.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, hey, I think we're good.
Yeah, absolutely. Petro, appreciate the time spent. We're going to wrap things up here for this episode of the IT and the D Show. I'd like to thank Petro from Brujo, James from the Reefermen, John and Julie from the Detroit Shipping Company. On behalf of Bob, Dave, Nuri, and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Root.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet?
Yeah, so now I'm just like doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.